Hello everybody, welcome to today's live. Now I've had last week off because I'd done my hand in. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it now. There's a little bit of me uh, skin just still there, but it's okay now. Although I have got that I've cut a chunk of my finger off. So, well, we'll crack on with it. Crack on. So let me put that to one side, and I've got to find myself me picture. I think it's that one, I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Very slow today. Hey Gail, it's nice to see you. No, it's not that one. Let's see if I can find it. Hello, Costel. Is it that one? It is that one, yes. Great. So we're all sorted and ready. So what this is, on Sunday, went out on a little day trip, and we went to a place called Skegness, for those of you who are not in the UK. I'm very good. I'm recovering from I did I don't, you probably can't see it, but there's a little bit in my hand there. Hey Gracie. uh, and it blabbed up because I've been doing some sawing, because I'm making a bass guitar and I'm doing it by hand. So it got a bit sore, and overnight it just blebbed up and it was very painful. So it's just about healed now. But I've got that as well, that I've nearly cut a bit of my hand off. So hello all, everybody coming in. There's Madonna there, and we've got Chrissy here as well. So like I say, I went at the weekend to Skegness. Somebody's got to go there, haven't they? And I took a photo, and I thought, right, I'm going to paint that. Now this, just to give you a representation of how big this is what I normally do. When I go away and I've got a couple of hours on a bus, I get a bit bored. So normally what I do is I take a thing with me, and that's a painting that I started. But the bus were a little bit wibbly wobbly, so um, I'll finish that off sometime in the week. Now I'm getting back to normal uh, situations. But this is what we're going to do today. It's a photograph I took of it's a clock tower in Skegness. If you ever go to the place called Skegness, in the centre of the town, there's a roundabout, and in the middle of it, there's a big clock tower. So I thought, oh, I'll have a go at that. Why not? So I'm just eating a sandwich because I'm starving. But we'll get ourselves sorted out and ready. And once I've ate my sandwich, we can crack on, can't we? But to start with, I'm going to let's just have a quick word about this book itself that I made. It has bockingford, 300 grams. That's £140 paper, and it's cold press and it's rough. It's really nice paper. I do like using. It's not cotton, but I've got to say it is really good paper, even though it's not cotton. So I've never been to Skegness before. Uh, maybe someday. You're not missing very much, to be frank. It's all like slot machines and cheap stuff that you buy at the seaside and rock and that kind of stuff. Just a easier way of getting rid of your money, really. So, right, let's have a look at the sky first, which is always one of my starting points. So, let's get it whoosh it in, like that, and around there, get some more in. And at the weekend, it weren't too bad actually. The weather there, at times it was quite hot. So, but then again, just when you thought it was safe to uh, get yourself all nice and tanned, there'd be a gale force wind blow. So that's your first bit. And what I haven't done is I'm going to see if I can try and get it to uh, be a little bit cloudy like that. And now let's uh, let's see if I can make a purpley colour, a dark grey purple. We'll just slightly do little bits like that. Might be a bit too much that actually. Just and then one thing I've not looked at yet is where the light's coming from. All right, from the photograph I have, it's coming from this direction. So this clock tower here, it's got four sides. So this side here will be shaded, and that will be very strongly lit. So let's have a look. Let's see if we can keep up with the chat today. Thumbs up, guys. Yes, thank you. Uh, what brand of paint am I using today? Today, do you know what? I think these are my Jackson's watercolours. I believe these are all Jackson's paints, as in Jackson's Art Supply. So, and a quick note for that, they do reckon that the vast majority of Jackson's paints are made by Sennelier, so who knows? We don't know. So, right. So I'm quite happy with that now. I'm just buying a bit of time to let it dry a little bit, and then we're going to start having a look at some of these various building bits. But I think first thing I will do is get this out of the way. Like that. And there's a bit of a sign there as well. So I'm going to represent the signage by just partly painting like that. It's fine for Chrissy. I refreshed my YT also. Oh, right. Well, sometimes it might be at your end. If you've got issues where things are not working quite right. I mean, the image I've got at the moment is pretty much okay. So there isn't anything else I really can do about it being any better than that anyway. So I'm mixing up like a stony colour, and that will go round there, and then round that area. Oh, I've blobbed it already. And round there. We'll let that dry for a bit. Another area where there is a little bit of that kind of stuff, but I'm going to weaken it down a little bit, is there. Tops of roofs in background there, like that. And again, a pretty similar situation. So these buildings, they'll be made of brick, but they'll also have things like what they call pan tiles, which is like a similar colour. So it's like a reddish kind of colour. So we've got that in. And I'm allowing little bits of light area in it. I'm not fully covering over there. So your next one down. I'm gonna paint that in there like that, and that side there. I'm gonna leave that white because the light's hitting that quite directly. Weaken that off a little bit. Crack on. No problem. Carry on, lol. So how's everybody doing? I've been a bit out of the loop the last week or so. With various things. If we get time at the end, I'll show you a sneak peek of the project. So, and how that's getting on. Because obviously those of you who follow me on a regular basis will know that I'm doing a special project. So I'm gonna now we've got a building that's got a roof here that isn't. It's more brown. So I'm just gonna block that in like that, and we're hoping that all of this is like gonna blend to some degree. Put a little bit of that. And it gets a little bit darker as we go along. So I'm mixing up a bit of green and a bit of brown, and I'm going to just, when we get to there, these are all like windows in at the bottom of a shop or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but that will work like that. And when you get so far in the distance, you tend to lose the you know, the high detail anyway. It's just bits of if I can get some red in that. And that gives it that area darkness. Fish and chips. What fish and chips though? Is it haddock? I nearly had fish and chips at Seaside, but as you well know, I'm not massively into fish, so I ended up eating a boatload of donuts instead. Well, why not if you're at Seaside? So I'm going to see, tease out these dark areas here, and on that, it's not details, they're just giving me a guidance of where things might go at some point. Just getting that other side there. So let's look at other side here. There seems to be a like a grey building there. I'm going to just put a very light grey in there to start with, and then we'll go back over that later. And then just in front of that, there's a stronger valued building that's a lot darker. And that kind of helps with that there, because there's a kiosk here, and that's very light. But the fact that there's a building that's dark in the background, do something like that as though it's got some sort of detailing in it. And then there's a fence there. So I'm just going to do the negative spaces to create the fence. So directly after that, a little bit of greenery. Haddock, is that your preferred fish? Or is that all they had? Right. Now, the bottom of the clock tower, it's almost like a sandstone. So we'll block that in. We're going to have that like that. And get all that in first. And then we're going to, once it's close to dry, we'll put a darker colour in it. But what I will do is see if I can get a little bit of... And there's a door there as well, so I'm going to identify that a little bit. There we go. And then it's on some sort of plinth. So I'm just going to make that light there. But at this side, that will be a lot darker. Or at least stronger anyway. So now we're going to darken that area. I'm going to get a green and a reddish brown, and just put a line down there and go like that. That'll go like that. That one there will be darkish but not massively dark. And that area there. A little bit of shadowing, and then we can start having a look at some of the detail on the clock. Now, because sun's coming from this way but upwards, quite a bit of the clock face is going to be fairly dark, so I'm very carefully making sure that I don't go into the white bit of the clock face. And there you go. So we're almost done as regards blocking in the image. I just want to come to that side and make that fairly light there. To some extent, this will be slightly silhouetted. Make that like that, make that like that. There we go. Right. So we've got it's not quite detail, but it needs to be in there to fill in various things. And I'm just going to leave a lot of white area and just do random strokes like that. It's not detail as such, it's just filling in a gap like that. And we can also do a little bit of that there as well. Now that's a bit drier. Let's see, that might be a bit wet still. Yeah, it is. Right. Although this roof is white, because it's slightly leaning away from the sun, it's ever so slightly grey. Like that. And again, this side of the roof is also ever so slightly grey. And I'm going to continue that on by going down like that. And that gives you your tonality, and makes it look nice and interesting. So just filling a bit of a gap in there. Now inside the kiosk, that's all going to be fairly dark. So, but there is a person there that you can just about see. So I'm going to very carefully do that like that. Now we've got two other people there as well, so I'm going to drag that like that, because they're going to be casting a little bit of a shadow onto this white area. Another area that will be cast in a shadow is that there, although that's made that go like that. It don't matter that. Right. There might be a little bit of a thing there. We're not far off the blocking in being completed. So I know I've said that a few times already, but right, there's a very weird light. There you go, Sweeney. And it, rather than a normal light, it curves. So I'm very carefully blocking that in. And it is quite silhouetted, that. It curves round again. Avoiding my little person there. because in the painting itself there is several people. It helps give a scale. So let me just, while I've got a little bit of that darker colour, I'll add some paint like that, and again using a dark browny red and a dark green, and we'll really get some dark areas there. And there's a bit there that I've neglected to do. The side of the awning, or whatever you call it. Right. And this is where all this nice greyiness comes. You can use all that. Making sure that I'm looking carefully for shadows underneath things. We're not that far away from starting to think about the detail. So little dibs and dabs of things like that. Colour. I think I'm going to make the car red. There you go. And then bit of just leads you in nicely, that. And bit of dark there, make that nice and dark. Obviously, when these are dry, we'll make sure that they're a lot more crisped up and what have you. So it's a blue van there. Just going to indicate there at the moment. I'm not going to go near that because if I touch that, it'll just all blend in. So there's that blue. Right, where else can we put blue? That lady there's got some blue on. Blue is the trendy colour today, so that other person there's got a blue. This guy, he's bucking the trend, he's got yellow on. And let's see if we can. By the way, I've still got this sandwich in my hand, by the way, guys. I'm suffering for my art. Starving. Another blob there. Blob there. That person there's got a blue top on. And look at this person here. A bit of orange. And I know these are like fiddly details, but unfortunately I have to do. Right, so I can see, you know, all they are is dabs, and you know, you either let them flow into one another or you don't. Get a little bit of various colour. I think there's a sign there as well, which I'm just going to indicate like that. You know, because it's seaside, it'll be uh, very colourful. You know, it's all neon lights and all that sort of stuff, and you know, razzmatazz. So let's see if we can start getting some detailed areas in. I'm gonna just at this side. I'm going to emphasise the fact that that's dark. Got these little, I don't know what they call those, little finials that come out or whatever. And steadily building the image up. If we can add a bit more. See if we can encourage some form of connectivity. And with people, lots of people, it becomes like a confusion of things. So you don't necessarily have to. You don't necessarily have to do absolutely every detail. It's about getting that balance of is it something or is it not something, or and you'll be able to let the viewer look at it and decide for themselves what it is or what it isn't. You can, Gracie, you've just got to keep having a go at it. Don't tell yourself that you can't paint this or you can't paint that, because you'll put yourself off it. It's as simple as that. And then you'll never have a go, and then you won't be able to paint it because you paralyze yourself. It's just get some semblance of the idea that we've got like some movement on the clock itself. And then again, blibbing and blobbing. Just again, you know, creating bits of detail that allow you to connect stuff up. Yes, it's a lovely little doggy, isn't it? Just soften that edge. And you're creating this building by working around it. There's no need to try painting it because we've already done it by working around other bits. So it's coming along, it's nice and loose, and we're starting to get things forming, which is always nice. Saying that, I don't think we're that far away from final detailing. So here I am on my detailing brush now. If you're into your watercolour painting, get yourself one of these because they are great for detailing work. So let's start seeing what we can do to. I mean, this would be a good subject to do pen and wash. So again, it's just little things, really. Yeah, let's have a look, see what I can do. So there is some other person there. Create some sort of darkened area there. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. Okay. If you've ever a problem with uh, your painting, don't panic. Just blot it out. Let's see if I can make this a bit more prominent. Alright, so we can. Yes, it is Goswina. It's a photo I took at a place in England called Skegness. We went on a bit of a day trip the other day, and while I had 2 minutes spare, I thought, oh, let's see if I can take a couple of photos. I didn't take my camera with me. I just did it off my mobile phone. Right, so latter stages here. Don't really want to be doing too much more on it. Not at the moment, anyway. It's just refining things. Right. What I will do is put a slightly darker. I'm going to see if I can go for a dry brush feel and just go. Like that. We can get rid of a little bit of that. Like that. There we go. Um, for a quick, let's just it's not drying enough. But when this is all dry around here, I will go over it and you know get a little bit more definition in there. But apart from that, it's mostly done now. I'm going to darken this side of this car. And then that's it. I think. Are you a trooper, Chrissy? Doing all these paintings? And as far as I'm concerned, I think that's this done. So this has been like a little painting, something that I took a photo of the other day. Uh, I would have liked to, if I'd have had time, I would have sat there and painted this because that would have been my first opportunity to do some actual plein air painting, which is something I've not done all year. And we're getting towards end of year now. Just putting these heads in back in so that we can. Person there. We know what we're doing. and we've got most things all nicely tied together and flowing into one another, and that's how we like watercolour painting. So I think maybe one or two more strong hard lines in it. So I'm going to reach for a reddish brown and then a dark green again to make a darkish colour, and you know, some very firm lines. But these will be fairly dry brush. And not so much as you go, but the strong lines at the back need to be a lot weaker as you go further back into the distance, and less. But for me, no, I tell a lie. There's just a little bit more. I just want to re-emphasize this. Apart from little bits that I might finish off once everything's had a minute or two to settle later on. That's the painting done. Thank you, Goswina. So, is there any last thoughts before I move on? Oh, do you know, Chrissy? I wish I could do it. It's just setting oils up, and it's. I used to do oil painting years ago, but it's just. I mean, hopefully, it not. I've got one coming up that I think will be nice for an acrylic. It's a night scene, so I'm hoping to do that as an acrylic. But apart from that, I don't think I'll ever be doing oils very much at all. It's just everything about oils is a faff about to deal with, and I've barely got enough room to do what I've got here. So anyway, that's been my quick impressionistic watercolor painting for this week. I'll be doing a more considered painting on Friday, hopefully, if everything goes well on Diane's channel, Artfully Blind by Diane, I think it's called. And hopefully I'll be getting back into the swing, seeing everybody and what have you. So I've been super focused on my guitar, which I'm going to show you now. Although, here we go. You might not see an awful lot of it. There you go. What I might have to do is I'll move my thing up and I'll show you the guitar in a second. Watch out. Right. Let's see if I can move away a bit. Yay! There you go. It's nearly there. Let's see if I can get this down to the, and then that'll be its neck. So not far away. That'll be the entire body completed when that's all stuck and glued. And then I need to start putting the hardware in it. Woo! So the whole point of this is that I'll be doing some artwork on it. It will be a working guitar, but I'm designing some artwork to go on it, and the video will be about preparing it, making, you know, and how to make sure that the artwork's on it and stays on it, because obviously you'll be playing in an instrument and it might get rubbed. So there's procedures that you have to go through with that. So that's what I'll be doing with that, but we've got to get it finalized and built before we do that. But it's took a couple of weeks to get, just because I'm not doing it with any machines like people do it with. I've had to do it by hand, everything. So there you go. The project that's taking forever. So thank you for being here, all, and enjoy the rest of your week. And we've got several other individuals who produce videos on a regular basis. So enjoy some of their videos as well. And we'll see you all later on in the week as we get around various different groups. So bye for now and take care.